From winning more Grand Slams than anyone else, to his athletic skills aging like fine wine, here's why Novak Djokovic is the best tennis player ever. If there was a Grand Slam GOAT, it's this guy. He's won a mind-boggling 23 Grand Slam men's singles titles. That's more than anyone else in the history of the game. And what's even more impressive is that Djokovic has won each of the Grand Slam tournaments 3 times. No other player has managed to achieve that feat. He's got the secret recipe for success at every major tournament. He's not a one-court pony. But when it comes to the Australian Open, Djokovic is untouchable. He's won that bad boy an astonishing 10 times, setting a new record. He practically owns that tournament. And it doesn't stop there. He's also shown his dominance at the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. He's got 4 French Open titles, 6 Wimbledon titles, and 3 US Open titles under his belt. And you know what's really mind-blowing? This guy pulled off the Australian Open and Wimbledon double 3 times. He set a new record with that one. And just to add some extra spice to the mix, he's also won the Australian Open, French Open, and Wimbledon in the same year twice. I mean, who does that? The Serbinator, that's who. He's also achieved something no one else has ever done. He completed a non-calendar year Grand Slam in singles. That means he held all 4 major titles at the same time, all across 3 different surfaces. I'm telling you, this guy is the GOAT, and when it comes to singles titles, he's just as dominant. He has a staggering total of 94 titles to his name, the most of any active player, and he's slowly inching his way to breaking Jimmy Connor's record of 109 titles. Just 15 to go. His win-loss record stands at 1,058 wins and 210 losses. That's a lot of wins. In total, he boasts a jaw-dropping career match-winning percentage of 83.4%. That's the best in ATP Tour history. But it's not just the Grand Slams he dominates, he's also the king of the Masters tournaments. These tournaments are like the creme de la creme of the ATP Tour. Alongside the Grand Slams and the year-end championships, they're the big titles that every player dreams of winning. And guess what? Djokovic holds the record for the most Masters singles titles with a mind-blowing 38 wins. And his accolades just keep getting crazier. Djokovic is the only player who has achieved the career Golden Masters. It means he's won each of the 9 Masters 1,000 events at least once. He's truly conquered everything. But he hasn't just done it once. In 2020, he did it again. He completed a second career Golden Masters. It's like he's playing a different game altogether. That's another record that no other player has managed to achieve. Sure, Rafael Nadal may have snagged a couple more Masters 1,000 titles, but he's taken only 6 out of the 9 tournaments on the current list. Djokovic, on the other hand, is the master of consistency across all of them. He's one of the big 3 for a reason, alongside 2 of his biggest rivals, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. These guys have faced off against each other so many times, and when you compare Djokovic to Federer, these two have clashed on the court a whopping 50 times. And against him, Djokovic has the edge with a 27-23 record. He's got that extra bit of mojo when he steps onto the court with the Swiss maestro. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Djokovic is the only player who has managed to beat Federer at all 4 Grand Slam tournaments. And the same goes for Federer beating Djokovic at all 4 slams, so it kinda goes both ways. But despite that, Djokovic has still had the upper hand against Federer. Out of their 17 encounters, Djokovic has come out victorious in 11 of them. That's some serious dominance. And in finals meetings, Djokovic leads the pack with a 13-6 record against Federer. And then there's his rivalry with Nadal. These two have gone head-to-head a staggering 59 times. And just like against Federer, Djokovic holds a slim lead in their head-to-head record with a 30-29 score. Surprisingly, Nadal has had the upper hand when it comes to Grand Slam showdowns, winning 11 out of their 18 meetings. That's where Nadal really shows his dominance on the big stage. But the Joker has held up his own too. He's got a 15-13 lead when playing the Spaniard in a final, proving that he's not one to back down from a challenge. And when it comes to specific slams, they've had some nail-biting battles. Nadal leads Djokovic 8-2 at the French Open. That's a better record than anyone has against Nadal on the clay court slam, while Djokovic has a slight edge with a 2-1 lead at Wimbledon. And as for the US Open, Nadal leads 2-1 in their face-offs. But even if we leave the tournaments and the slams aside, you can't ignore Noel's iron grip on the world #1 spot in the ATP rankings. This guy knows how to stay on top. He first reached the summit of the men's rankings back in July 2011. He claimed that coveted position and held on to it for a solid 53 weeks. That's no small feat. But hey, even the best can't hold on forever, and in July 2012, he was overtaken by Federer. But Djokovic didn't let that setback keep him down. He bounced back and forth, reclaiming the world #1 spot multiple times. He spent a jaw-dropping 370 weeks at the very top of the ATP rankings, more than anyone else. His reign at world #1 has been a roller coaster ride of dominance. He's held onto that top spot across 5 different stints. His most recent return to the #1 spot was in January 2023, right after he clinched yet another Australian Open title. The man is unstoppable. So whether he's ruling the Grand Slams, winning Masters tournaments, or sitting at the top of the ATP rankings, Djokovic has proven time and time again why he's better than anyone. And the thing that sets Djokovic apart from practically any other tennis player is his ability to maintain his dominance even as he gets older. It's pretty rare to see that in the world of tennis. A big part of his success lies in his dedication to his physical fitness and overall well-being. Djokovic is all about that rigorous training regimen and strict diet. He knows just how important it is to take care of his physical health, putting in hours at the gym and staying in tip-top shape. Plus, he's been really lucky to avoid major injuries throughout his career, something his peers can't really say. And on top of that, Djokovic's mental game is on point too. He can overcome any challenges or setbacks that come his way. He was straight up banned from playing in the US Open, but did that demotivate him? No. And another key to Djokovic's success is his adaptability. He's able to adjust his playing style to different surfaces and opponents, which keeps him competitive as he gets older. He's not afraid to make changes to his game, like improving his serve or sharpening his net play. He just wants to find ways to elevate his performance. But in the end, it all boils down to experience. Sure, he might not have his youth anymore, but he's been around the block and knows the ins and outs of tennis, and that allows him to make better decisions on the court. He's got that game sense that only comes with years of playing at the highest level. And when you combine all of that with his unique playing style, you'll know why they're calling Djokovic the best of the big three. He's been described as an aggressive counterpuncher, which basically means he can easily turn defense into offense. He has lightning-fast footwork and incredible speed, and he retrieves shots that seem impossible to reach and turns them into winners. It's almost like he's got eyes on the back of his head. And when it comes to ground strokes, he's got so much power and precision, he can easily hit winners from both sides of the court. And on the defense, you can just call him a human wall. He's got this elasticity that allows him to retrieve and return shots that would leave other players scratching their heads. He can somehow magically repel every ball that comes his way. And here's something interesting. Djokovic wasn't always known for his net play. It used to be his weakness. But with the guidance of his coach, Boris Becker, he made significant improvements in that area. He developed better touch and skills around the net, which enhanced his ability to finish points with ease. So you can say Djokovic got better with age. He's practically in his prime. But still, his overall style is pretty physically demanding. He's involved in those long rallies and extended points that really test his stamina, and a lot of people doubt he'll be able to keep it up as he ages. But if there's one guy who can do it, it's Djokovic. So from his athletic skills aging like fine wine to winning more Grand Slams than anyone else, that was why Novak Djokovic is the best tennis player ever.